What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today we are back on the white Sierra, just doing some little things between bigger jobs, you know. And so today we've got, check it out, white door handles. Guys, I will link all this stuff in the description down below. I actually found an eBay seller that sells them already painted white. Now, are they going to be a dead-on match? I don't know. They look a little more yellow than what the paint is, but you guys saw in the last video, I showed you guys this truck. We did a few things like getting the badges off, the pinstriping off. I managed to break the mirror just by folding it. It only had that one screw that you can see sticking out. Guys, I have a new set of Tahoe mirrors with turn signals. I don't think the turn signals are gonna work, but we're gonna see today. So we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be putting the door handles on. And then, like I said in the last video, guys, this piece up here is broken. So this is like our dome light, and I don't know why. Does this thing not have a regular dome light? There's no lights on in this truck. That's weird. So we're gonna be doing that as well. And I don't know, if we find a couple other things we wanna do, we may do that. But the main thing I wanna get done, we gotta get that fixed too. You guys heard that. I don't know, what's going on with the light here? We got the dome override on or something? Okay. It's already got LEDs in there, but I don't really care for the brand, so we're going to be replacing those with a different brand, guys. And you can see the plastic piece is missing. And then we'll just see what else I snag up between now and finishing filming this video. But first, I guess, guys, what we're going to start with is we'll start on that door over there and see if we can't get that door panel off and try some of these mirrors. It's been a minute since I have taken one of these door panels off. As a matter of fact, I think it's the Tahoe day, changing door handles from chrome to color match. 10 millimeter, got a small little baby flathead screwdriver, a little bit bigger one, and a couple pry tools. And we are going to start with the littlest one right here. And we're gonna see if we can fish this out. Generally, guys, you can put your flat blade screwdriver in here, and this has been taken out before. Once we loosen that, that guy comes off. So you guys can see the opening up there. And like I said, looks like it's been taken off before. So we'll set that in the floor. And then the bigger screwdriver, I'm going to use for this guy. There's generally a spot where you can get under it. You need to open that up. And then behind the door handle, same situation. It's definitely been off before because you can see where somebody's pried to get stuff off. That gives us access to a bunch of 10 millimeters. Same situation here, we need to pull this off. Generally it's a little harder than that. The clips are good. All right, and then last, I'm gonna use my plastic ones for this up here. Obviously our mirror fell off in the last video. So we need to get this guy off of here. There should be 3 plastic clips. One of them is actually broken. It's still setting in there. Okay, now that we've got all that accomplished, let's grab our 10 millimeter, get this stuff apart. I may have to grab a magnet too. Get those out. There's a couple back here. Oh, they are missing. That's always good. So we're missing a couple of our 10 millimeters here, guys. And I think that is it. I think the rest of it is kind of just popped on. So what we may do is use our pry tool, our thicker one of the two, and get back behind this thing, see if we can get it popped loose. And I'm going to try and source some 10 millimeters before we go back together here. See if we can lift this thing off and unplug our switches. A couple things I wanted to show you a little closer up front. First of all, I should have popped these out. I forgot these popped out. Just 2 clips, and then you can unplug things easier as opposed to reaching behind it like I did. But this guy right here, guys, is a little ball and socket. So if you press these two guys in, you can pull it out of this little sleeve here. And then once you do that, the ball, you can pull a little slack and pull the ball out. But what I use on that is a pair of needle nose pliers to pinch these two guys together. Kind of got to do it from a weird angle. But once you pinch those together, it'll slide out of this hole right here. And you can see there's an access spot for the cable, and then you can just pull the ball out of this little socket here. So, like I said, it's been a while. Anyway, we've got that loose, so now we want to get the door handles off. And guys, in order to do that, you are going to have to pull this guy back. And we have a couple access points. One of them is right here. The other is right here. So we're going to have to pop these out. I don't remember if it's the top or the bottom, but you may have to grab both of them. But they are 10 millimeters. And guys, I like to do this by hand because if you get crazy with like an impact like what I've got, you will strip those. It's pretty common for these things to break. Now, onto the 10 millimeters here, we're probably gonna have to source a couple 10 millimeter nuts because obviously our ones are missing here. So, oh, and I can see why somebody put a set of speakers in here. That's probably why the door panel's off before. So that's good, because it does sound decent. It doesn't sound bad. One thing that's handy to have is a magnet. I actually found one of my studs for the mirror. So the other one must have been broken off for a while. So actually, guys, what I noticed is the mirrors that I bought have the studs on them. Now they are a used set. Like I said, they're off a newer Tahoe. And when I say newer Tahoe, like 09 to, I guess 2014 possibly. So they should be the same as far as fitment goes. I think I'm gonna go ahead and thread this guy in since they have when you buy them used, sometimes you get the studs or the nut that goes in there, the 10 millimeter. I'm gonna go ahead and thread this thing in and yeah, I guess I'm impatient. So this has two plugs on it, whereas as you can see, the one I just dropped off there that I cut off, it only has one. Now these are the mirror caps are gonna have to be painted, but I can pull those off later because they're it came off like a Denali, so they're kind of they got a lot of pearl in them. It's white, but it's a pearl white. This is another reason why you need a magnet, because you'll probably drop one, if not more, of these, but we'll get them just spun on there, make sure that everything lines up. That looks good. Let's just see. Hopefully it's not locked. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to tighten them up, but they fit. They're definitely in better shape than the old ones. And they're power fold, but we're not going to be able to get power fold, I don't believe. Not in a regular cab truck anyway. If you have these on a crew cab, I believe you can get the switches to do that, but not on a regular cab. I also think there's supposed to be a piece of foam in here, guys. We're gonna snug those down similar like the handles here in a minute. I wanna do this by hand because you don't wanna overdo it, because then you get in a situation where what we had before and you break a stud off. All right, fits good. Perfect. All right, so you can see the difference in color. It's just kind of a dingy looking. I don't love that color because it's so dingy looking. I feel like I'm getting a little bit aggressive here, but it seemed a little loose on that bottom side. I think we're good now. All right, let's move on to getting the door handles on. I'm gonna grab my small plastic pry tool and we're just gonna take both of these out. Inevitably, I'll forget to put them back in, you watch. Once we do that, you can see the 10 millimeters on the handle inside here. And if you need to pull this back, you can. I like to put a flashlight up in here so we know exactly what we're seeing. And I can see both of the 10 millimeters. It's actually the bottom hole here, guys. So let's loosen them up. Like I said, I'm gonna do this by hand. I think, honestly, guys, this is the best method. These things are really brittle. That one feels like it's stripped. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Get the other one here. Ooh, they're tight. And I'll show you here in a minute what strips on them, if these are stripped. I'm hoping they're not. Unlike the older door handles, like on the NBS, these are a bolt that goes into the back of that. So I'm going to grab those out of there, and then we'll move you to the outside and see what it's going to take to get these handles off. Reach up in here and get them the rest of the way out. There's one. You can see it's got thread locker on it too. And there goes the other one, it just dropped. So there they are. Now we need to unhook them from the outside here. So, here's the way this works. Or at least I'm hoping to show you guys the way it works. You generally gotta start to kind of open them, and they slide. There we go. You kind of got to slide them forward to get them loose. Then you also have to, this one doesn't have a lock cylinder in it. There we go. Kind of pull it out at the same time we're doing everything else. Of course, this has been on here since new, or since somebody painted it. They did a decent job on this side, I noticed, with the paint. Okay, we just broke that, but that's fine. We're not going to be reusing it. That one's being kind of a pain. I'm going to grab my pliers and get that off there. But you guys can see this clip right here is the reason you have to push it forward to disengage that. But right here, these threaded inserts right here, that is what spins. So a lot of times, if you try to take it off of the impact, you'll loosen that, and that nut will just spin in there, and you'll end up having to break the door handle off, which is a common occurrence in these trucks. A lot of the door handles break, especially in wintertime. Like everything else, since we've got this off here, let's give this a good clean up. Like I said, I'm relatively impressed on this side. They took the handles off when they painted this door. Assuming they painted this door, I think they did. All those years of grime back behind that handle. It's a good time to get it. Now, we're ready to grab our new one and go back together here. Here's our new one that's already painted white. Now, it does come with a gasket. Make sure that's on there. But we need to grab our rod here. It went back in the back somewhere. I have to have a pair of pliers to get it. There we go. Pull it back up to the front with a magnet. So we need to thread this guy on just like the old one came off. Well, try not to break it. This is actually metal, whereas the old one was plastic. It makes me wonder if the handles have been replaced before. So we're gonna get that in there. Now, we need to push it in and slide it back so it grabs that same clip that we did before. And the handles are pretty close. They're not a dead-on match, but dang, they're close. And this side, like I said, will not have a lock cylinder. One side should have a lock cylinder, the other one will not. So we need to make sure that we can open it. And it does open. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to leave it open. Now we just need to thread our 10 millimeters back in by hand. Do not use an impact here. Let's get them back in, and we'll be finished with that actual door handle and the mirror for that matter. All we got to do is hopefully plug it in. Now at the same time I'm snugging these down and making sure that they're where they're supposed to be out here. You shouldn't have a ton of movement, but and do not over tighten these. Just plastic. This one didn't have as much movement as the ones I've had before, as far as up and down. But we want to make sure that it's seated like this. And we're going to check it. This door needs a hinge too. All right, kind of looks better. Like I said, it's not a dead-on match, but probably on camera it looks pretty decent. It's just got, looks like it's got a little more yellow in it. Everything's working. So now, what do? Well, this mirror is a little bit different than the other one, in the fact that, as a matter of fact, let me grab the harness here. I'm having trouble with keeping the camera on the door, guys. Sorry about that. So the old harness, this guy here, this was the plug for it, right? Well, this is your old plug, this guy right here. We're going to plug what fits into it. That makes sense? So the mirror, the controls of the mirror themselves should be good. Now, do we have any other plugs back here? Let's take a look and see. Doesn't look like it. Just want to make sure. I'm wondering if there's another plug on the bottom. If we're lucky, there may be another plug on the bottom of the actual power window switch. I'll have to look and see. We also want to make sure that all these guys are lined up. I don't know if you guys just noticed that, but these have fallen down. I'm going to bend them a little bit with my pliers so they stay put. Nothing worse than getting the door panel back on and nothing lines up because these guys have slid out of place. So we'll do that. I also noticed that one of my door keepers stayed. We'll pull that out. Just kind of work our way around, making sure that everything's covered. This one right here is, that's odd. Huh. We're missing a couple things, it looks like. Huh. Yeah, we're gonna have to source some 10mm bolts. Those lined out and back where they go, but here's what I'm noticing. Nowhere to plug this in, okay? I don't know what all that controls on the mirror. Obviously it's got two plugs. I think our power up and down is gonna work. I I have a bad feeling that we're not gonna have turn signal. And ultimately, guys, that's not that big a deal. If you, like for the crew cab guys out there though, you definitely can get turn signals if you have a crew cab. For some reason, the switches, they don't make a switch for the passenger side, unless, let me know in the comments if you guys know of something, but for some reason they don't make a plug, there's nowhere to plug it in here. I don't know. Once everything's lined up, we're good to put the door panel back on. I did take that piece of rubber out of the top up here and clean it off camera. We're gonna attempt to put all this stuff through the window opening. See how that works for us. And the switch opening, I mean. And here's what you don't want to forget, because I've done this before, guys. You get the panel all back on and you forgot to put the little ball and socket back in, and you can't open your door. Done it many times. So we need to make sure we get it hooked up. Put the ball in first. There we go. Trying to thread all this stuff up in here. Get up over your lock. Making sure your lock rod's coming through here. Sometimes it's a pain. And then we need to kind of gradually push it down. It's only going to want to set a certain way. This rubber is kind of deformed over the years. Got it where it needs to be. Then we can start snapping those in. The lock rod wants to stay inside there. There we go. Now we just need to snap our panel back on. There's a couple clips all the way around it. Just trying to make sure that you're lining them up where they're supposed to go. This is the weirdest fitting door panel. Up here especially. There we go. Not having that clip up here really sucks because it's broken. So now we can try to get, remember I said I'm going to try to hunt down some 10 millimeters. We'll try to get that done. Searching for a couple 10s here, but we can go ahead and put a couple of these clips back in. They go a certain way. So put that one back in because I got that 10 in, and we can go ahead and put our lock rod back on. So we'll put it as far down as we can get it, and then push this connector back in. I'm going to make sure that it works like it's supposed to. As far as the switches go, let's go ahead and plug them in as well. And like I said, there's only going to be a couple that plug in. Just our lock and our unlock. And like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. We'll test it in a second and see what works and what doesn't. But for now, let's put this back in here. This needs to go on first like that before we put the handle on. But the two that we're looking for, the 10s, are going to go right here. So we've got it all back together, as you can see. I don't know why the lock and unlock button's not working. Try yours. Oh, turn the key off. Now try it. Take the key out. Take the key out. Try your lock and unlock. I wonder if it doesn't work. Of course. All right, put the key back in and turn the blinker on. Watch, check it out. We do have a working blinker. So, look guys, some of the controls aren't working. I don't know if it could be switch related. I know that that switch over there is messed up because it won't control this up and down. So it makes me wonder if all of that incorporated in the lock and unlock. I never tried the lock and unlock before. Hold it down. I don't know. So it could just be a bad switch on the driver's side that's causing all this stuff to go haywire. But hey, it's kind of cool that we have, this has puddle lights. I don't know if when you pull the key out, turn the key off and pull the key out. Yeah. Oh, you did? Oh, well, I don't think it has that. I don't think it has puddle lights. We'll just have to see when we add keyless entry because I'm going to add a keyless fob to it at some point. But all right, we got this side done. Let's go knock out the other side. This side's a little bit different because obviously you have a lock on this side. So on this, we need to just get this lock rod out from in this keeper. And then everything else is the same. We're just going to thread that off. Once we do that, we are going to have to pull our lock, right? Because we have a lock cylinder. We're going to have to put that in the new handle. And you can see on this side, guys, this truck was painted and they taped off around the handle, which sucks. But I'm still going to clean this off. And then we're going to, I'll try to show you the back side of this once I get it out of the way. I generally use a pair of needle nose to push this guy out of here. So that's what I'm going to do next. And then once I do that, get the handle off, and then I'll show you, it's just a plastic or a metal keeper that keeps that lock in place. Once we get it off here, you can see that metal clip. See it right there? You can pry up on the ends and then your lock will just push out. Here's what you need to make sure of though. You need to make sure that this red piece is facing the same way that it was before, right? So don't face it towards the center or the inside. Same situation here, guys. Luckily, these are really tight, these bolts, but be careful. Don't over tighten them. You can see that I snapped this side off too. This is common for these things. You can see I now have this back together. I cleaned a little bit on it, guys, but I didn't spend the time I normally do going through because I think we're going to have to take this back off. Like I said, I think the lock switch is bad. Something's going on there. But anyway, so we've got it working. I haven't tested this other blinker, but the handle itself is working. Looks pretty good. Like I said, it's just a shade off. I don't know. We may end up painting it down the road. I don't know. We definitely got to get that fixed. I'm going to order a new hinge here, guys, for that. But let's see. And I still got to fix this guy. It's still a fight. But the next thing I want to do is this piece of plastic is missing. And I actually found a company that makes an aftermarket one. I was going to get a GM one, but you can't find one right now. So I'm going to grab the tripod and I'm going to pull these lights out because I don't necessarily like this version. I got my own. So let's get these out. I'll list these in the description as well. I got a Laz fit because they just seem to be a little brighter. So like I said, I got a new piece of plastic you can see here. But I got these new bulbs from Laz Fit, and guys, they're so much brighter. To me, it's worth it. Just that one light's brighter than those cheap two. So we got those guys in. That is insane, the difference. And this should be, let's see if there's a certain way. I don't know that it matters. Just want to make sure that your plugs line up. Actually, it may be a little easier to go in with the back first. It's going to be close. There we go. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, I have to pull it back out. The light moved or something. Okay, maybe not. That's weird. We may end up having to pull that out at some point and adjusting that light. That's wild. Yeah, I'm gonna take that out and take a look at it. Something's going on there. I was able to take that back out. I just used this same small screwdriver I was using just a minute ago to get in the back side here. And then I just crimped those together. It seemed like it was a little loose, but now we are good. it doesn't matter because the doors are open, but I think that's quite a bit brighter in here. But I tested an easy way to test the turn signals in the mirror, guys. I know I'm having issues with the lock cylinder, and that may be something we address in this video too, but if you hit the hazards, check it out. Both of them working. All right, let's see what we want to move on to next. I've decided the last thing I want to do in this video is put the short antenna on. So I ordered one. You guys have seen me put these on several vehicles. I'll list it in the description down below. I really like these. These are from Steadfast. Now it is different than the one that I put on my my new crew cab, but holy cow, he's beating the crap out of everything here. You don't have to use the extensions if it fits. So I think, let's see here. Oh, may have to. It's not going on there. So they have these adapters, and they have obviously a series of different connections. So we just have to find the one that actually fits this guy. So I'm going to go rifle through these. There's 4 different ones, so it doesn't take long to figure out what fits what. Same here. Only one of them threads into the antenna, so the end on all 3 of these or 4 of these are the same on one end. It's just different on the other. So let's see which one fits it. And guys, there's no way to distinguish the 2. Otherwise I would tell you it's this one or this one. I'll try to show you, but let me see which one fits, and then we'll put this on. So here's what we got. We've got the black extension piece that works. And then guys, out of these 4, this is the one that fit it the best. So I threaded up in the antenna. Like I said, all the antenna sizes are the same. We thread this guy in here, and I'm going to just tighten it up with my 8mm. I'm just going to be really careful, trying not to scratch it. Obviously, you could put some tape on it. I've done that in the past, but if you're real careful, you don't have to, you won't scratch anything. But I want to get that nice and snug. Got that thing snug down. Guys, I generally like to bend it just a little bit so it's more perpendicular with the truck. So you don't have to be real crazy. Don't get real aggressive, but just kind of bend it over a little bit. Gets it lined up nice and straight when you're looking down the truck. It's not like... Anyway, I think that's it. Like I said, guys, I tightened it up with an 8mm here. And if you're really careful, you won't hurt anything. But... man, this thing has come a long ways. I will tell you guys, over here we have some wheels and tires, and that will be coming in a future video. I'm honestly, guys, I'm waiting for some lug nuts because these won't fit, or at least I want to replace them anyway, because these are all crusty and nasty. But this thing's came a long way in just a short amount of time. It's already looking 100 times better. Now we are going to have the mirror caps repainted. As a matter of fact, guys, I may, while my painter, depending on if we're driving this or not, I may pop the mirror caps off these old ones and put them on there for the time being. Have him paint those. That way you're not driving around with, an open exposed mirror. I may end up doing that, but he's going to paint the mirror caps. I'm gonna have him paint a couple other pieces at the same time. Like, I'll probably show you guys a video when I remove the front piece. But I want, before I put the wheels on anyway, there's a couple things I want to do on the inside. I know I talked about the key, still waiting on that part to come in. I'm also wanting to put a driver information center in it. So, and that's the 4 little buttons that control some of the stuff. We're going to see if we can get that installed in an upcoming video. So those videos will be relatively short because I want to break those up for people that may not want to see all of this other stuff. But let me know in the comments what you guys think this thing is looking like. I think it's going to be a really good looking truck. I think it's got a lot of potential. But if you did like this video, guys, please, like always, smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, go down there, hit the subscribe, ring that bell icon that notifies you every time we drop a video on this or anything else, and stay tuned to see this thing come together.